Is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Oh, it is good to be back. What is up, Brigade? Welcome into a Tuesday episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. 4-day hiatus is over. Dave is back from his trips, traveling all over the country. Here with you guys live on Twitter and live on YouTube. Sports Grid replay. Yes, you guys are going to get the full week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got it all here on the replay every night at midnight Eastern on Sports Grid. How do you feel, Dave, after Ohio and Washington State in a one-week period?
I'm tired.
A lot of travel.
Tired.
Man.
I slept in today because last night I had to go out and see Merges, who was in town after doing everything else. I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm excited to be here. We got a lot to talk about. One of them is the heat. Is we got to talk about Miami because a lot of things going on down there that aren't going on in Boston. Despite the Celtics losing, the show goes on. People
absolutely
thought that, oh, is the show over? Is the show coming back? Is it? We're alive and well. We're kicking.
We're all good.
Bostonian versus the Book is live all week at this. Can we agree that 11 o'clock is a pretty good start time? Are we going to go for 11 o'clock starts?
I like it. It works for me.
Okay.
Right. In the fall, my class is at 4 o'clock. So, I'm starting on August 20, whatever.
Let's worry about the fall. Well, although we're worried about the fall right now. For those of you that are watching, listening, subscribing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're talking about the fall now, just so people that are perfectly clear. I like that. But as far as our start schedule, let's just work on June right now.
Yeah.
We're this week, 11 o'clock-ish.
Okay. I'm game.
Do that. All right.
Works for me. 2 p.m. East Coast time.
Eastern. Yeah, 2 p.m.
Take you guys up to nearly the start
o'clock.
of some of the games here. Obviously, it's 7 o'clock most time starts for baseball and for basketball and hockey and what's going on. So we got the NBA finals and we have the NHL Stanley Cup finals. We'll get to both those games from yesterday and what's going to happen a little bit later on in the show. But I want to know about the trip to Seattle, though, because did you go to more softball games than baseball games in Seattle?
No. So Seattle was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Pirates, Mariners. Went to all three games.
Okay.
Saturday did a doubleheader, was a day game, 1 o'clock start, Pirates, Mariners. And then 4 o'clock start, Raging Cajun, University of Louisiana against the University of Washington Huskies, Women's College World Series softball game, super regional. Washington wins and clinches their spot to go to OKC, to go to Oklahoma City. And those tickets, one, were super expensive. Two, the University of Washington was one of the most scenic college campuses I've ever seen.
Really?
Just walked around. Yeah, it's right on Lake Washington.
Yeah. It's
beautiful, the setting, left field. You hit it deep. You could actually hit it into the lake. Like, it is really, really cool. And then we got to meet, some U.S. Olympic softball players. Is from the last Olympics were there. It was great. Like, we took pictures. I'm going to put some more pictures up today on the socials, but it was so much fun. And had we known, we flew home yesterday with the Las Vegas Aviators, who were there playing the Tacoma Rainiers.
How about that?
So we got on a plane, and I'm watching the baggage go on the plane, and I'm like, what are all those bat bags and all the Aviators stuff? And I pointed at an A stuff. There were A's bags,
right?
Because they're the minor league team, the minor league team of the A's. And I'm like, Kai, I think the Aviators are on the plane. She's like, no, they're not. And then we sat down and you watch these guys come on, and they're 100% they're baseball players. She knows half of them because she goes to the games. She's like, oh my God, there's him. So they sat in the row in front of us. They sat in the row behind us. They're on a 13-game road trip.
Boy.
They haven't been home since May 15th. And they flew home yesterday. And they look like they were done. You know, like traveling is fun, but when you're done, you're done. And
I wonder what the mentality is. If you're playing for a AAA baseball team that has lost 11 of 12 games and you're not getting called up, it's going to be a little demoralizing, right? That you're so close to the big leagues and the big league team sucks historically bad.
Man.
And then you're not getting called up. It's got to be a little bit of a pissed off moment of like, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than that guy.
You would think so, right?
I'd be a little annoyed. I mean, the pitchers are coming up and down like crazy. The one thing, if you're watching, because I'm watching A's games now, so like the number of pitchers being brought up from the A's from Las Vegas is like every couple of days they're bringing up a new arm from the AAA level just to try it. Like the A's are literally throwing things at the wall just to see what might happen.
Yeah,
because things are so bad right now.
I mean, but we talked about it. We did this thing with a 30-day out. Like we went 30 days and came up with 7 or 8 wins. Like I initially thought it was 10.
Since we started, they have won.
I know, right? Like I don't know if they're going to even get that.
I told you, under 10 was a lock. It was new, not winning 10 games between now and June 15th. They are not going to win. They're going to get killed today by the Braves. They got their 1 win yesterday because that trend for teams that play on Sunday Night Baseball who then travel on the road, like the Braves did, they got into their hotel at 3:00 in the morning Eastern, midnight Pacific time, but they were wiped out. They were absolutely exhausted. They lost the game last night to the A's. Braves are going to kill the A's today.
Yeah.
So it'll be right back onto the same train of, the A's struggling, and they're drawing like 2,000 fans a night.
It's unbelievable.
On a Tuesday, I don't know. Today might be 1,000. I'm waiting for that. I don't think they'll ever announce less than 1,000 fans, but there might be less than 1,000 fans in the ballpark tonight for a Tuesday night post Memorial Day weekend game.
To see the Braves when the team is historically bad. They have 11 wins. Yeah.
After Memorial Day, they have 11 wins. We've talked about this before, but like there's a big argument right now as to whether or not the actual number, because the Mets in 1962, they played 161 games. They went 40, 120, and 1. They tied a game and they did not make a game up. So some people are saying, well, that's not a 162 season. So the real record is 43 wins. I'm like, that's stupid, guys. I was like, come off of it, okay? 40 is the record for the most wins ever, or fewest wins ever. 120 losses, 120 losses. Both those things are in jeopardy this season. I asked on my Twitter account, I did a poll. 200 people voted on this. I said, would you bet under or over 40 wins if I give you minus 110 on both sides? 75% said under.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe things change at the All-Star break, but until we get to the All-Star break, it is just fire on the A's opponent.
Speaking of All-Star break, the All-Star game is in Seattle.
Is that? I was going to ask you, is that hat actually? That's the logo, huh?
All-Star game logo.
That is Mount Rainier, right?
Yeah, and it has all of the Mariner.
Oh, that's a nice lid.
Emblems.
Oh, look at that!
Years.
Whoa,
It's
old school
tremendous.
60s logo.
Yeah. So, we might be making plans to head back up there for the All-Star game.
There you go.
That might be one of those trips that
There's been this big West Coast event swing going on right now. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
This would be a third straight year for the Super Bowl to be here. We had the All-Star game in LA.
Yep.
Now the All-Star game in Seattle.
Yep.
Stanley Cup final here in Vegas.
And the other city is Miami.
There's Miami.
Wouldn't have never guessed. I don't think.
And then what else is F1, Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. There's a big West Coast swing right now when it comes to sporting events. It's pretty cool. So all right, speaking of Miami, let's get to it. Last night, Memorial Day, the victory for the Miami Heat. Celtics force a game 7, becoming only the second team ever to do that. but they can't get the job done. Jason Tatum turns his ankle in the first minute of the game, called it he was a shell of himself after the game. He blow out the Celtics in game 7. I'm going to say this. I don't think the Tatum injury would have changed the outcome. I think it would have changed the final score. That's it. Too many players. I mean, Jaylen Brown played so poorly. So many players. I mean, the best player all night for Boston was White, and he got hurt late in the third quarter and really changed things up. Robert Williams got hurt in the fourth quarter as well. It was just a whole, everything kind of avalanched down, and Boston let go of the rope in the fourth quarter.
Everything went bad at the same time.
Yep.
But it obviously affected the game. I mean, I don't know. I can't say that, Tatum being 100% would have made the Celtics win. But
they wouldn't have gotten blown out. Could have lost the game, but they wouldn't have gotten blown out.
I guess. I don't know. It was watching it felt like just such you're watching an accident just happen over and over and over. But
we watched but the same accident happened over and over again all year. I mean, it was so predictable. Everybody in the Boston media, everybody who's been watching the Celtics all year long said, look, this is very typical for Boston, for the Celtics to blow a game 7 because they fought and clawed. They had their backs against the wall, like I've been talking about, until someone's threatening to take their milk money. They're not fighting. And then when they have a chance to breathe, which is what game 7 they got there, they went, okay, we got here. We're at home. We're going to win. They don't win. It's one of the weirdest things in the world, and it's why the Joe Mazzulla question is such a difficult one now, because I do put it on the coach. I mean, the coach has to have a team mentally ready to go. Game 3, game 7, same story. Mentally not there.
And no answers. You have to find a way. The great teams find ways to win when they don't have their best stuff, right? That's great starters in baseball, great teams, whatever it is.
How about game planning to stop Caleb Martin? How about changing up a defense? How about doing something differently than expecting? I mean, this is the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result each time.
Yeah.
This is what they were expecting. Like, oh, he'll miss. Oh, he'll miss. Yep. He'll slow down. And the books, by the way, putting up 12.5 every game for Caleb Martin, losing all 7 games on that prop bet. like what are we doing?
Another one of those things that you just throw up the number, you just throw up the average, just throw up whatever it is, and you don't really take into account the results. He was on one yesterday. I heard Reggie say that. I think he's on one. Couldn't miss. He had a lot of open looks. Guy was with open looks is knocking him down. I just can't believe now going forward. Is it like he blow out Boston in game 7? Is the Celtics being blown out? Is this
being blown up, you mean?
Yeah.
I think Brown is a very large question because he's eligible for the Supermax contract, and I don't think Boston's going to give it to him. Jason Tatum made a pretty loud vote for yes to give it to him in the postgame last night, saying it's of a high priority that Jaylen Brown is back for him, because I think the two of them have really made great strides in working together and playing together. But you saw what a team looks like led by Jaylen Brown last night. He can't dribble, turns the ball over like crazy, is not a great passer of the basketball, and is very much a complimentary player. And I don't know if you give that guy the level of contract. And look, he was a top 5 pick for Boston. He's been tremendous defensively. He's great. He is a great player in the NBA. Okay. He is a solid NBA player that will be part of someone's franchise for a long time. Is
someone else going to give him the max contract?
They could, yeah, but it's a lot less. So it's about, I think it's $30 or $40 million less from somebody else after this coming season. He's got 1 year left on his deal, and then he's eligible for the Supermax with the Celtics. So I think Jaylen Brown getting shopped loudly this offseason can very well happen. I do think Joe Mazzulla kept his job, though. I think by getting to a game 7, I think the team saying, okay, you got to a game 7, Eastern Conference Finals, you knocked out Philadelphia, you're learning, you're 34 years old. We're not going to have 4 coaches in 5 years. Let's go ahead and keep you. I'm wrong. I mean, I thought he was dead after game 3, when it was 3-0. I was like, Mazzulla's getting fired. I was 100% on the Joe Mazzulla train getting fired. I don't think he saved his job by forcing a game 7. But it is a step backwards. Okay. And what comes back for Jaylen Brown, I don't know. So that's the big question. The Kevin Durant conversation keeps being out there. I can't see the Suns trading Kevin Durant, even for a Jaylen Brown. I mean,
the Celtics?
Yeah.
KD to the Celtics.
Yes, that's been a very loud rumor for a long time. But there's a lot of problems with that, right? Like, you sold the Phoenix fan base on Kevin Durant. The Chris Paul question is looming quite heavily and loudly out there in the desert. You have a new head coach coming in. Does Kevin Durant want to play for a new head coach? So there's a lot of questions going on in Phoenix as well.
The NBA offseason's unbelievable.
It really is. It's insane. It's drama fest. And this year's going to be even worse because of all the coaching carousel changes, with Nick Nurse now going to coach Philadelphia, taking over. Does James Harden go to Houston with Ime Udoka? Is that what's
we've been off 2 weeks? All the stuff that's happened. Like, we haven't done a show for 4 days. It's been 4 days.
Oh, it's going to be like that. Yeah.
And so much happens. And oh my goodness, I didn't hear this KD to Boston stuff.
Oh, it's been going on for a month. Yeah. It was at the trade deadline was when it was the loudest.
Well, no, I know, but then he went to Phoenix. So I thought it was dead.
No, it's not dead. It's still there. It's still a question as to whether or not Boston, if they shop Jaylen Brown, who would be interested and who could they get that would be somewhat of an upgrade and or lateral move. You know, how does Booker feel about Kevin Durant? Can it work? Or do you give him do you make it Booker's team and you give him a complimentary player like Jaylen Brown versus KD, who wants the basketball? If KD went to Boston, it would be the same problem. Could Jason Tatum say, okay, KD, it's your team. I'll take you take the shot. I don't. It's the same question. Boston, I'm going to say this, okay? In Boston, I truly believe that Jason Tatum will win a NBA championship in his career. 1. I don't know how many, but I think he's going to win 1.
Okay.
When will that be? I don't know. Okay, but the NBA is wide open right now because LeBron James is going out. So that dominant era is about to end. And you have a chance for someone like...
But you think he's retiring?
Whether he retired this year, next year, he's on the way out. Like, the Lakers are not going to win a championship with LeBron James being option 1. Anthony Davis might take him to a championship, but LeBron's not going to be the guy anymore. He's on the way out.
This is breaking news.
No, it's not. Come on. You know this. Kevin Durant, okay, is getting up there in age. We've seen the Warriors, okay? The Warriors right now are on the back 9. What do they have left? Will Steph win another one? Maybe 1, but not multiple. And the Warriors are going to have to retool. They're going to lose their GM. There's a lot of questions about what's going on.
Yeah, he's done. He just resigned.
Oh, he did?
He resigned.
Today?
Yeah, just now.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. Okay, so then Myers is out. So Bob Myers is now retired. So now you got major question marks about Steve Kerr. Does Kerr want to stay? Because Kerr might not. Okay, Kerr may retire. Kerr may go, okay, I'm good too. If he walks, I walk. We're both gone. There's been thought about Kerr going to the Suns. I don't think that's going to happen, but there's been conversations about that. So, like, there's a lot of things that are rolling around. The NBA is more wide open right now than it ever has been, in my mind, in at least 15 years. And so I think Tatum has a chance to ascend to a top 5 player in the league. He's only 24 years old, about to turn 25 years old. Okay.
Hey, Tatum isn't already a top 5 player in the league?
I don't know. I think he's top 10. He was top 5. He was all NBA this year.
It's semantics.
It's semantics, right? I mean, he's top 10, top 5. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league, but he's really young. So I think he has to learn how to win. He knows how to get to the playoffs. He's played a ton of games in the playoffs, but that next level, he can't get past that championship boss. He can't get to that ring. I think
the next level
is the ring
required to have a supporting cast. You can only be that guy.
He's too inconsistent, though, Dave.
Team so long, you need help.
Yeah, he
got no help yesterday. There
I know, but you can't
one
go
guy
for
on
50.
the court that wanted the ball.
you can't go for 50 in some games and throw out last night because of the ankle injury, but like you can't have these games like you had in game 1 and game 2 where you're just not the best player on the court. Like you have to be consistently the best player on the court over and over again. And if you're not, there's a big problem. There's a lot of problems and issues that go into it. So I just don't know if that's possible or not with Tatum.
It's possible when he gets help.
Okay, I mean,
Jordan didn't win until he got help. Jordan had big games. He didn't win until his 8th year, 7th year.
Right. He was 27 years old. So and that's what everyone's.
Year. It took him getting help. He scored 63 points in a game in Boston, and they lost.
Series. Yep, the Celtics. Yep.
Yeah. So I saw it with Lemieux. It's the same thing in Pittsburgh. Literally going to the games, going, man, we're so close. He's the best player in the game. He's better than everybody else. They can't win. Then they got Ron Francis, and they got Kevin Stevens, and they got Tom Barrasso. They got Ron Francis. They got guys, Paul Coffey,
right?
Brian Trottier, guys who knew how to win, veterans to help when you can't carry all the load.
Well, I love that point. I mean, the point that I think is not being made nearly enough is that there needs to be a championship caliber player, meaning someone who actually has won a championship on that roster for Boston next season. You need someone who's understood, who's gone through the trials and tribulations, who knows how to get there, who knows what it takes.
And who says, look, Jay, you're having a bad night. Give me the ball.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
Help. They're triple teaming you. Give me the ball. Like, you have to see this. You have to have someone on the team say, Jay, your ankle, you're obviously hurt. Pass the ball or let's play off of you. Like, there has to be that someone else on there that knows, yes, it's Jason Tatum's team, but there's times when Jason Tatum isn't going to win.
And this is why being 34 years old as a head coach scares the hell out of me. Did you watch the pregame speech at all? Did you see that video?
No.
Mazzulla was trying. He sounded like an AAU coach. He kept on talking about, guys, make sure you're smiling out there. Make sure you're having fun. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have a good time.
He was probably trying to just downplay the fact that it was Game 7.
He was. But it's not. But everybody who watches the Celtics and everyone's like, well, he's the coach. He knows. I don't know. Because Ime Udoka got that team to play hard by putting his foot squarely up their butt consistently. He screamed at them in huddles. He would at them, and they responded to that. This is why everyone's saying the team never got over Ime Udoka getting fired, because you went from kind of that hard-nosed disciplinarian to the substitute teacher. And you played hard at times, but when it really came down to the nitty-gritty and the decision-making, tough call time,
right?
They didn't respond.
It's the first time going through it.
Yes.
Right? It's the first time going through it. A lot of times you establish what
on
works
any level.
Doesn't. I mean,
on
3 games ago they were ready. He stood up there and took the bullets for the whole team.
He did. Yep.
So we don't know what's going on behind those locker rooms. Maybe they are fighting for him. I don't know. Maybe they're just with the microphones caught.
Spoelstra is just. Look. It was I talked about it going into the series, and he proved it all series long, being such a better coach, proven coach. I mean, how Caleb Martin did not win the MVP is beyond me.
Yeah.
How in the world do you watch that series? And Brian Windhorst said it on ESPN last night, and I was like, okay, fine. At least somebody's willing to say it publicly. He said Jimmy Butler was given the MVP for what he did in the totality of the playoffs, meaning knocking out teams like the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. So that's why he wins MVP, because he was not MVP in that series. That was Caleb Martin. The reason why the Heat are in the NBA Finals, Caleb Martin. And that's Eric Spoelstra to a T, taking a player undrafted, cut by Charlotte, and getting him to play at that level.
Well, he made the shots, and he kept having open shots. There was no adjustment to not allow him to make the shots. So I don't know. I can't stand his MVP awards and all that other stuff.
It's a joke. They should stop giving them. They really should stop giving, because it shows the media just has no real clue of what they're voting on. Just
Yeah.
stop giving these dumb awards. These are all
I can't
monetary
believe
awards.
there's betting markets on this.
There's
I just
betting
can't
markets. I
believe
mean,
it.
it's money. I
terrible.
mean, there are incentive clauses in this thing. Caleb Martin won the MVP. Can you imagine what the clause would have been that kicked in for that guy? Took money out of his pocket. One guy, Reggie Miller, was the deciding vote who put it to Jimmy Butler. It was 4-4, 5-4 in the vote. That's what it was.
9 people decide that.
Yep.
9 people. Think about that. We could have,
And
more
one of
people
which is
vote
one
on
of the
our
most
Twitter
biased
poll.
guys on the planet is Reggie Miller. Like, so wait, what?
Yeah.
Dumb.
That's
dumb.
not.
Caleb Martin, I mean, I feel for you, bud, because hopefully the team will scratch you a check and say, okay, you're really the MVP. Here's your contract bonus, because he played his tail off getting the NBA Finals. We'll talk more about the Nuggets and the Heat here in just one second. But here in Vegas, second time in 6 seasons, the Stanley Cup is taking place here in Las Vegas.
Jeez. Believe it.
This is dumb, is it not?
What?
I mean, I saw a blog
What?
post. I saw a blog post from a original 6 team from one of their media, like a fan blog, talking about the fact that how angry should we be that Vegas has gone to the Cup Finals 2 times in 6 years and we can't get out of the first round. It was like, there's a lot of fan bases around the NHL that are very upset about Vegas getting back to the Cup.
Because they didn't?
They can't.
Why are they mad?
Jealousy.
I mean, that's
We got hockey night on the Vegas Strip, baby.
right. Like, what the hell? Okay, so get better, beat them. Like, you had the opportunity, right? Like, we could have been going to Edmonton, they lost. Could have been going to Dallas, they lost. Like, you had the opportunity to beat them. 6-0 yesterday. That was the most complete game that the Knights played.
All
that
season.
Was unreal. The checking line looked like, Gretzky's line back in the day. There was a give and go. That third goal,
Yeah.
Kolasar or what? That's just
Kolasar, yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, Vegas right now,
me?
5-on-5. It's unbelievable how well they're playing. Power play is still okay. PK is still all right. But Hill, I forget what we were talking to Derek Stevens from Circa, and he had just had a conversation with the goalie coach. And you remember Derek telling us, saying the goalie coach feels really good about the group he's got. No matter who's in net,
Yeah.
he feels good about. And we were like, wow, even Jonathan Quick. Aiden Hill is going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he outplayed Ottinger in that series.
The team was just they played perfect yesterday. Like, it was, I don't know. Again, sometimes you just catch magic with the goalie. This is more than the goalie.
I would agree with that.
This is more than the goalie. The goalie is benefiting from the team playing and believing and getting contributions from guys that you never see coming. That's how these things are won. That's how guys get their names on a cup, is that it comes together in a way that you play all those games, you get yourself in auto position, and then it comes together at the right time, and different people contribute along the way. Florida Panthers were down 3-1 to the Bruins.
Mm-hmm. But
They're in the
Bobrovsky
Stanley
has
Cup
done it
Finals.
before, though. The difference is Bobrovsky is a Hall of Famer.
But
Aiden Hill's the fifth option for the Golden Knights in net this year.
it's fine. It doesn't.
The
He's the
fifth
number one
option.
option right now.
He's the only
that's
option.
it. That's it. Yeah, he is the option. So I don't know. Do you see the price?
We'll get to it in a second. Can you compare this success to anything else, though, in sports? 7 years ago, this team didn't exist. And they're playing for it all for the second time. You could say, well, the first year was a fluke. No one knew where they were coming. No one took them seriously. Okay. And they lost to Washington 4-1. They got taken care of by Ovechkin pretty easily. Now they're the favorite to win the cup against Florida.
This one's more impressive to me than the first one.
Okay.
Because the first one, the rules were set up for them to be successful if they drafted a certain way.
Right.
They got NHL caliber players quick, and they made
Fleury.
Yeah, and Fleury. Right. I mean, that was the key. They got the goalie,
Yeah.
who was still had a lot of, life left
Gas
in
in the
that
tank.
body and everything else. This one they had to build again, and there's still guys from the first one. There are, but
Three guys from the original team. Yeah.
there's been a lot of turnaround. There's been a lot of moving parts. There's been a lot of
Hand wringing.
signings.
There's been a lot of signing, hand wringing, anger. I mean, the fans were really nervous about forfeiting the future to go ahead and get a lot of these guys like Pietrangelo to sign. I mean, Pietrangelo on the back end. That's why everyone if you're picking the Knights, you're picking the Knights because of their defense. That blue line is insane right now for Vegas.
It's just, I don't know. I guess I could see people being mad for, certain established cities that want to get to the Stanley Cup and, make these runs, because it's happened. When you say you're from Vegas and you're somewhere else, they're like, "Oh, you excited about the Knights?" Yeah, we're excited about the Knights. People rally behind the sports teams, and nothing brings a place together like a sports team, like a playoff run.
Vegas never had it. And we always thought, oh, they'll be good. Remember when I'll never forget because I was talking to our friends from sinbin.vegas, which is a great website covering the Golden Knights. And Ken Balke does an amazing job. And Ken was on my radio show. And I remember I was reading him the quote from the owner. And the owner said, if I'm not winning a cup in the first 10 years, something went wrong. And we were like, the heck are you talking about? You're putting the bar up so high, like out of the gate. We've never seen an expansion team even, make a playoff run, let alone win the cup.
Right.
Like in your first 10 years, you expect to win a Stanley Cup. You're going to come into the league and win the most coveted trophy in sports. He's playing for it for a second time in 6 years.
And favored.
Right.
And favored this time. So legit shot to win it. The hype is real. The buzz is around town. It's happening again. I think the first time caught a lot of people by surprise.
I would agree with you.
And like this one, I went outside and went for a walk before we started the show. And my neighbor she was out getting ready to go to work. And she's like, "Hey Dave, can you get tickets to the Stanley Cup Finals? Do you know anyone?" I was like,
let me get on that.
I'll check. Like, here we go.
Let me get on that right now.
But she's all caught up in it and said that game last night was so much fun.
Oh,
it's happening. The buzz, like, this isn't catching anybody by surprise. This is year number 6. There's established fans. They had a good regular season. They are the 1 seed, right? They had the best record in the West. So they're supposed to be here, and they did it. It's going to be great.
How about Bruce Cassidy, though? The Bruins get bounced in the first round against Florida.
Yeah.
He has a chance to beat Florida for the cup. He can beat the team that fired him after going to the playoffs 6 straight times because he couldn't win the cup.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a welcome to your life roundabout way of just sticking it to your former employer.
Pretty good.
We're going to do what you couldn't do.
He thinks about that at all.
Oh, I think he does.
I don't think so.
He was
trying to win a
pissed.
Stanley Cup.
When he got fired, he was pissed. No.
Who's not pissed when they get fired?
Yes, I think
be pissed.
he is.
Although sometimes somebody's doing you a favor and
Right.
you don't really realize it.
I mean, look, the blessing, right? Sometimes you never realize in the moment he got the job in Vegas and now he's in the Cup Finals. Well, the Bruins were going to watch him play for it all. So, I mean, it is one of those moments of like, wow. And I'm with you. I don't think he's thinking about the Bruins right now. He's thinking all about Florida right now. But it is quite the opportunity to do what his former employer couldn't do. And this time it's to win the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
If they win this thing, I mean, the Golden Knights are Vegas's team. The Raiders are coming along. We don't know what the A's will ever play here, yes or no. The Aces won it all. They became the first team. They dropped the banner over the long weekend. sellout crowd. They were really excited. The WNBA was really impressed with the crowd for the banner ceremony for the Aces. And Tom Brady now is a part of them. Obviously, Mark Davis is bought them for a reason.
Oy.
Their parade, their ceremony was cool. About 5,000 people showed up. Cup comes to Vegas. They win it all.
Are you planning the parade? Stop talking about. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. I'm not planning it. I'm just saying what would it look like. It's going to
look phenomenal. What are you talking about? It's going to be amazing.
I can't. It's going to be.
It's going to be fun as hell.
It really is.
It's going to be fun as hell. It's going to be different.
If it happens.
If you're right. But like the parade stuff is it's legendary. Like I will never forget the Penguin parades. The first two that I saw. It was, what are you doing today? We're going to the parade. You're going to the parade? Yes. And then the second one I covered. So I was in the dugout.
Nice.
They took the parade to Three River Stadium.
Oh.
And they did a ceremony and let everybody into the stadium.
Nice.
To watch the ceremony. And I sat in the dugout.
Would they do it at Allegiant, do you think?
Maybe. Yeah.
They might do it at Allegiant.
They
let
might,
everybody in.
They might walk everybody down the strip.
Yep.
Or whatever to Allegiant. Let's walk across or whatever, and we'll go in there and we'll do the end in there. It'd be nice, air conditioning.
Yeah, it would be nice, given the fact it's going to be blisteringly hot by the time.
Oh man, yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be 100 by the time. So
can you imagine? Like, now I don't know how many guys are actually live here and will take the cup to Tao and clubs and stuff.
They'll do it'll be on a 7-day bender. It'll be insane here. The cup will be dented 15 times. They'll drop it off stages. Like, it'll be wild. They'll go to the Bellagio fountains. Like, it'll be nuts. It'll be absolutely the most insane 72 to 4-day bender in Vegas history.
Yeah. Can you imagine that we get to do a show every day and we're going to talk about maybe, get a call like, hey guys, the cup's here. Do you want to come down and take pictures and hang out? Yeah, we'll be there in 15 minutes.
Yeah, be there right now.
Kids, where are you going? I got to go see Carlson's down at Stadium Swim with the cup. I'll be back. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah. Hold that thought. We'll circle back to that here in just 1 second. You asked me about the price for the finals. It was minus 360 at open. Yeah. It is now minus 480.
Take the jacket off.
Mr. Oddsmaker, do you agree with the $5 price on the Denver Nuggets?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I do.
You do?
Oh, I do.
Really?
I do. 100%.
It's going to be a walk in the park. This is done. Hold on. I got to put the listing glasses on for this. Why?
This is the same point I was going to make for Boston going up against Denver. There is no answer for Jokic. They have no answer. Bam Adebayo is going to get abused. Tyler Zeller is going to get killed. They have nothing to throw at Jokic.
What?
Tell me. You tell me how they're going to stop him.
Why do they have to stop him?
It's minus 140 for Jokic to average a triple-double in the series.
It's what he does in life.
Average.
Right.
They are 42-7 at home, and they have home court.
Oh, my.
Okay?
I gotta put the headband on for this. This is
okay.
You don't believe in Jimmy?
Jimmy?
Spoelstra?
I'm going to say, I believe in Spoelstra, absolutely, 100%. But
you don't think he can find a way to win this series?
No, I do not. No, this is a wrap.
Is Denver going to win a game in Miami?
Yes. 2-0 going to Miami. They'll split game 5. It goes 5 games, 4-1, Denver.
Breaking news, Denver in 5. What's the odds for that?
That's the bet. Denver minus 1.5 is a better play. Lay the 1.5 games.
What's Denver in 5?
Exactly in 5. I'd rather give myself the sweep potential because I think Denver could sweep them and go 4-0 or go 6. So I'd rather not.
Oh.
So,
Oh man,
or
this
5
is-
rather,
they
4 or
got
5.
So many things. I just want to know what the prop is. I mean, like, I just hit more NBA, and now it's going to take me an hour to find it.
Total games is plus 185. 5 games is plus 185.
What's the exact result? I just want the exact result.
4-1.
Yeah, Denver.
That's 5. Denver.
No,
5-1. The exact result would be if you like Denver, Miami, Denver. That's ridiculous. They're giving you 7 games. That's ridiculous. That's really kind of nuts. The final score: Denver 4-1 is plus 210.
Plus 210.
Yep.
You see these ridiculous things where you can pick the results of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just did it, like it's 200 to 1, and it's all these crazy odds. Wow. Denver sweep is 5 to 1.
Yes. Plus 450.
5 to 1?
Plus 450 at FanDuel. 4.5 to 1 at FanDuel.
Yeah, FanDuel. So ironically, I'm looking now. Denver game 1, Denver game 2, Denver game 3, Denver game 4. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you just said.
Yep.
It's 5 to 1 under NBA Finals exact order.
That's ridiculous. Different price for same bet.
Different price, same bet, right? I mean, like last time I checked, that's the same bet. Is it not?
Dumb. Yeah, it's dumb. Somebody did not.
This is one of those things where you got to, like, when you're running the book, you got to know that's the same bet. The price has to be the same. So if you guys are in the room at the FanDuel place watching it, you're welcome. Send us the consulting fee at some point. Sponsor the show if you'd like. But we got to do the work for you. All right, so I got to go through and find the Denver, Miami.
By the way, here's a question. Denver minus 2.5.
Uh-huh.
That's a sweep, is it not?
Denver minus 2.5. No, 4-1.
Okay, it's not.
It's a sweep or 5.
To sweep or 5, because that bet Denver minus 2.5 games is only plus 118. So the math on that doesn't. I'm trying to figure out. Like, wait, that seems light, right? Compared to the other bets, that seems a little weird. Like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah, that one. See, this is why it's going to be tough, because we call out the nonsense that we see, which is what we're supposed to do anyway as bettors and carriers of the BVB mantle. That's not right. Don't bet that. You can find a way to bet minus 2.5 and get a better price.
Yeah, because minus 1.5 is 164. 2.5 is plus 118. But a sweep is 4.5 to 1. And 5 is plus 185. Or sorry, plus 5 is plus
minus
210.
1.5? Minus 1.5 is what?
Minus 164. Yeah.
Minus,
yes.
Minus 2.5 should be a little bit bigger of a plus.
Yeah, like plus 1. Yeah, plus 210 is 4 to 1.
Kind of shorten you a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. What do you make of the game 1 price? By the way, the Denver Nuggets are not the Boston Celtics. Just FYI.
What do you mean?
Because that's everyone's saying Miami was 7.5-point dogs in game 7 and they won it all on the road. Yeah. This is altitude. This is Denver. This is a different animal. This is a whole different ball of wax. This is when the 8 seed goes back to being the 8 seed. This was a fun run. This is Butler in the Final Four. This is Gonzaga going to the Final Four. But why? Because they're playing the best team in the league. The team is the best team in the league all year long, and Miami is not going to match up well. This is not a bunch of untested, unproven dudes. This is a rested team that is going to stop Caleb Martin, and then you're gonna what? Get Tyler Hero back, and he's gonna win the series? Come on, bro.
I feel like you're discounting what Miami has done, and
I'm not discounting it. It's amazing. The run is incredible, but the run's over. It was going to be over for Boston too. I said this a month ago. Denver is winning it all. I don't care who is coming out of the East. The Nuggets are winning it all. This is a team on a mission that has everything lined up exactly the way you would want it to.
I think it's going to be a harder series than you think. I mean, why is Denver going to win a game on the road?
Yes.
This might go 7, where
No.
Denver wins all the home games and Miami wins their home games.
No.
Huh.
No.
I don't know. I don't know how Spoelstra goes from being such a good coach and out coach and everything and all
Because
this
Michael
Jimmy
Malone's
Butler
not
stuff, and it's
Joe
just,
Mazzulla.
I understand, but you're lessening what Spoelstra's doing by saying that. Like, I think
No,
Spoelstra
Spoelstra's
will
not
be able
playing.
to go.
Spoelstra
All right,
has an advantage when he has things to take advantage of. Tell me where the Miami Heat have an advantage. They really don't. 3-point shooting. Okay, Michael Porter Jr. and Murray can hit as many threes as any player on the court. Kyle Lowry was plus 28 last night. Okay? That ain't happening in the finals. Okay? They are sitting there watching this. They've been scouting the Heat, everything they're doing. Guess what? If the Miami Heat go zone against the Nuggets, they're going to get killed. Okay, it worked. What worked against Boston worked because of what Boston is, a flawed basketball team with a superstar player. We saw it last night. You take Tatum off the roster, Boston's a decent team. They're not elite. They're not great. They're okay. This team, now great, you take Jokic off of the Nuggets, I give you, but Murray can still go nuts. Okay, they're 1A and 1B. There is a Batman to the Robin that Boston doesn't have. They've got it. Murray can go for 40. If Jokic has 25 and 10, has a kind of a quieter night, Murray can go bonkers. They're a deeper team. They got Brown off the bench. They've got scoring off the bench. They have defensive help. They have length. They can get out on the 3-point shot. Michael Porter Jr. is a matchup problem for the Miami Heat. There's nobody who's going to guard him. I can't wait to see how they try to defend him. He could be the X factor in the entire series.
Oh, man. I mean, wasn't that long ago that Denver went to Phoenix and lost both games.
But again, I would say that Phoenix is a better team than Miami is. I mean, Jimmy Butler.
Say that.
Where was
Miami's in the finals?
Correct, because they beat the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat the flawed East, and it's incredible. It's an amazing run. Okay, I'm not discrediting. It beat my team, beat the Bucks. They got there. Okay, this is great, but this is kind of akin to like the Patriots going up against the Bears here in the Super Bowl.
Oh, in 86.
Okay, this is an unreal run.
Super Bowl shuffle, man.
Okay?
What are you talking about?
I'm just telling you.
Not that big of a
Jokic is Refrigerator Perry. Okay, this is like it's an unreal run that nobody saw coming. But then when you get to the championship and you're taking on a team that is supposed to be there, who's been waiting to be there, who's been counting it down.
Right.
Okay. Cinderella, it strikes 12 and the carriage goes back to being a pumpkin. And it's, again, congrats to Miami. Congrats to the Heat. Amazing run. Spoelstra is a Hall of Famer. He probably was before this, but now there's not even a debate. You can't even debate this. From the play-in to the finals. Are you kidding me? Okay. They lost to Atlanta, remember? Okay. They lost at home to Atlanta to start this thing. And then they went on their run.
Atlanta's not good.
And Boston smoked Atlanta. Or I can smoke them, but they knocked out Atlanta.
Right.
So, but look, in Philly losing to Boston, I mean, there's just the East wasn't as good as we thought. And so a team that is well coached, disciplined, and shoots the lights out of the ball and gets really hot. Miami's best shot to win and make this somewhat of a series is in game 1. If Miami is going to be even close to being alive, they must win game 1. Because it's only going to get more difficult from there.
Right.
So your best shot from Miami is to make it a series. You win game 1, you lose game 2. Then game 3, if you're right, you win game 3, you're up 2-1. Series probably winds up going 7. You lose game 1. They've lost 7 times at home all year.
How many times did Denver win an NBA championship?
0.
How many times Spoelstra won it?
How many times without LeBron?
Guessing none.
So helps when you have LeBron James.
I don't know. It's
a wash on that point. It's a wash on that point. In terms of like who has more experience and who is more prepared, it's a wash. These are all new guys. Butler, 0 rings. Jokic, 0 rings. Malone, 0 rings.
Right.
This is all fresh blood in the NBA, which I think is really good for the league, unless you're a
I
TV
think it's
executive
great.
who is legitimately drinking yourself under the table today because you know what the ad rate's going to be. No one's watching this series. This is NHL Stanley Cup type ratings for this final.
Bad.
Bad, really bad. For the NBA, really bad. They normally kill the Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup ratings won't be that far behind the NBA Finals.
The Cup's going to be very competitive.
It is, but no one watches it in America. It's a regional.
They're
People
going to watch it here.
Of course, people in Miami are going to watch it, but like, people in Chicago and Boston and New York aren't like dying to watch Vegas.
I don't
and
know.
Florida.
Like, I think hockey markets will watch it. I think
Canada.
Well, no, but I mean, like Pittsburgh's a hockey market, Chicago's a hockey market. What,
You think they'll watch this
in Chicago
with two warm weather cities in June? I don't know.
Still the Stanley Cup, man. I think hockey fans will watch it. I mean, and this is still the NBA Finals, and I think it's going to be competitive. I mean, like 9, that's high, but I understand it. Does the rush thing factor into this handicap for you?
In game 1 only.
Oh,
it does for game 1. Yeah, and that's it. Once we get past game 1, that's out the window. Heat first half, game 1, probably a decent bet.
Right.
And then come out hot. Denver needs to get their legs back, needs to get their lungs back, and then that's it.
Man, oh man.
I've been saying it for a month. I'm not
Guys in the chat, are you going to watch
the
Stanley Cup?
Yes.
I mean,
I think our audience
about
will.
hockey.
Gamblers will, because we're going to bet it. Of course we're going to watch it. We're the marks. We're betting every game, multiple bets each game. Like, we're betting this. So, of course, we're going to watch.
Just put it in. If you guys are watching the show, which, again, we appreciate you doing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell 1, maybe 2 other people about it. We can grow this audience a little bit even faster. But are you going to watch the Stanley Cup final? If you're in the chat, just say yes or no. Just curious. What at least I think people will watch. I think there's some level of curiosity to see how it ends. Now, the NBA, it's been so long. I had to think, like, who did Denver just beat to get to the finals? Oh yeah, it was the Lakers. Yeah. Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, they're self-proclaimed annoyed. Like, they are restless.
The Nuggets.
And
their fans.
No, the team is annoyed. The team is restless. Like, they want to go. Like, they want to play. Like, they're happy. They know now they want to get on the court and let's go. Which is exactly what I would want to hear from a team like that.
Right.
Not resting on their laurels. They know they're not done. They're not comfortable where they are. They haven't won anything in their mind. They know what the end goal was. Same thing with Butler last night. Butler was like, I'm not touching the trophy. Like, I'll touch the other one.
Oh, the
Eastern Conference
basketball guys are doing that now, like the hockey tradition.
Yep. Although I guess the Knights did touch it. People were all talking about why did they touch it. The Knights did touch the Western Conference trophy.
It's an old tradition.
Right. But they did. They broke the law. Everyone was like, oh, you broke the law. And the Knights were like, we don't care. Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
How about the price? This series, I am the opposite on. Florida is 100% live to win this series.
Yeah, I agree.
Vegas wins.
I don't know who wins the series. I wish I did. I got both sides of the exacta, so I'm good. I got both Panthers, Knights, Panthers. So
I don't know when I'm going to fire on Vegas. I got to figure this out because I'm going to do a parlay. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but involving Vegas and the Nuggets. But when I'll bet the side,
you only have Panthers over the Knights
at 48.5 to 1. So I may wait for Florida to have a lead in the series to get a good price on Vegas.
Right.
So I don't know, but they may not, but I think that they might. Like, I would love for Florida to win game 1 would be great for me because then I'd come back in and bet Vegas and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about it.
Is that the game they win?
Game 1?
They have to win a road game.
Well, here's the question I've got on this. What do you make the rust factor in this one? I mean, is Vegas minus 140 because they believe the rust factor is going to be huge? They haven't played in forever. This thing starts on June the 3rd.
Right. They didn't.
9 days between games.
They got the window
for Florida.
Healthy as could be.
For Florida?
Oh.
Yeah. Or Bobrovsky.
Take 9 days off, like without the physical and the travel and the hitting. And I mean, like they're practicing, obviously, but that's a dream. I think that's
or is it a curse?
No, I think
Bobrovsky,
the hockey season.
You're not worried about Bob cooling off and going back to regular season Bob? Because playoff Bob has been a whole different animal than regular season Bobrovsky.
This is true.
So that's my concern is that not the team, but Bobrovsky's not going to be the same dude. And he'll look at Ottinger, where you keep on waiting for Ottinger to play like him, and he couldn't do it. Vegas kept on pouring goals in and scored 6 yesterday on him.
Worried about the goalie. No, that's because that's the one that the rhythm gets so good, and you're seeing the puck so good, and now you're just seeing the same practice crap, whatever, for a week. Yeah. First game may be a little bit rough, maybe a soft goal or two.
Vegas is minus 130 for the game, 140 for the series.
Minus 130 for the game, minus 140 for the series. That's probably just to make sure that we make sure that we don't have the same price for both, so people don't get confused. Because usually that's like the game 1 price is the series price, very close, or at least the game 7 price. This is an under series, Perrault. Every game under except one. This series is every game is going under except one. I don't know which one. Might be game 1. There might be some off stuff in that first game.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if Bobrovsky goes back to being regular season Bob, these games are going over. This guy was an over machine in the regular season.
Regular season is done.
I would agree with you. I'm saying if he goes back to
I don't pay one attention. There's nothing matters that to me, and at least in a book, none of that matters. The regular season doesn't matter 1 second in any of this.
I'm not positive this series. If Florida gets a bunch of power plays, less will be called the longer it goes. But in games 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm not positive of all 4 going under. I can see 4. I can see 4-2. I can see 3-3. Vegas doesn't play under games all that much.
No, not the
first
way
period over
now.
went last 4 games. First period over hit for Vegas.
Yep.
I just kept on betting it. Hit all 4. Ding, 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 ding. It was the only bet I made on the games. Last 4 games, the only bet I made was first period over, first period over, first period over. All 4. Bam. All hit.
Yeah. I don't know. We got 3 days to talk about this?
Florida's an over team for the most part, unless their opponent is an under team, and then they played lower scoring games against Toronto and others. But against Boston, all over. Florida plays like Boston in a lot of ways because of Cassidy. I don't think I agree with that comment. This is an under series. I think this might be an over series, but
I think Florida's going to dictate the style of play,
which means over to me. If Florida dictates style of play,
went under. What are you talking about?
That was only against Toronto. More than half the series against Boston went over. 5 out of the 7 games, I think, were over.
That was too long ago. I mean, current. What about their games against Carolina?
Again, that's Carolina style versus it's Florida style. That was dictated by Carolina.
Florida against Toronto, Florida against Carolina.
Both dictated by Toronto and a lot of unders. You're right.
They get a lead and they play ridiculous defense. The key to the series is going to be, as long as Vegas doesn't buy into the crap after the whistle, the physical play, and stay out of the penalty box. Yeah. I think they can win the series.
The one benefit for Vegas, they're bigger.
They're going to match the physicality.
Yep, they're bigger.
There's no question.
They're not going to get pushed around. They're bigger. It's a big team.
Yeah. So
It's a physical team. It's a big team. It's underrated blocking shots. It's why Hill has been so good. It's tough to get the puck to the net. I mean, you got some guys that check-in line yesterday, like you mentioned, not only were they throwing their body around it, but they were passing the puck incredibly well. So, yeah. I mean, and you've got 3 guys who were on the team that went to the Cup Finals and lost it to Washington. They've got that experience. They know what it was like to lose it. Now they have a chance to say, we were here 5 years ago. Let's not miss this now.
Right.
Don't play around with it. Let's get it done. Let's figure out a way to make this happen. Let's win this right now and get this done. Okay. So, all right. So June 8th coming up, Game 3 has turned into a watch party for our live show. Now we're there 2 days, 8th and 9th, but Stadium Swim, BVB, live show. Game 3 will be on at Stadium Swim. It's going to be wild. I mean, this is going to be
need sunglasses.
This is going to be a fun.
We're going to need bucket hats.
This is going to be a fun deal.
I had no idea, and then you hit me with that in the notes and the rundown, and then we talked about it briefly. We'll get more details exactly, right? But this could be epic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already making arrangements that my guess is that I'm going to be there the entire day. I was not planning on being at Stadium Swim from like 10 o'clock in the morning to 9 at night, but it kind of feels like that's what's going to wind up happening.
We're going to have to go down there and test everything out where we're going to be, because we might just have to have that other setup work. And then because we can't leave stuff that it's going to be a zillion people there. Have you seen the watch parties?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people there.
The cheerleaders are there, Chance is there. And the crazy thing about the watch parties, because it's Circa, there's no kids. So it gets rowdy. Like there's no, you got to be 21 to get in. So it's.
What are you saying? Title shots?
No, I'm just saying it's rowdy. I mean, Tyler's wants a title shot suite. So like, he's already, BetSmart's already, doing all that. So,
this guy's doing? He's doing all kinds of stuff.
We got
Boston.
Multiple people who are DMing me, telling me, asking me questions about coming, wanting to be a part of it. It's our first ever kind of real brigade meetup.
Holy crap.
We have the Cup Finals for a viewing party. I mean, you can pregame while with us from 11 o'clock until 1 live at Stadium Swim.
And the game starts at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern.
4 hours later, you go play craps for a couple of hours and then come back and the game's on. Like,
oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me? It's going to be an absolute zoo.
I'm going to have to put in a personal day with the boss here. I don't think she's going to understand that might end up being a whole.
Oh, yeah. I've already been asked, like someone was like, are you and Dave going to stay? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, well, I'll get you a room at Circa if you guys want it. I was like, what? Like, I don't think I'll need a room. Now I'm like, uh-oh. I need a room. Just not even to sleep there, just in between the show and the game.
Nap.
Just to go and hang out, just lay down, take your eyes off.
Yeah, because that music could be pumping like that. That might be
to pace ourselves a little bit and store our equipment if we got to move it out of there.
Right.
Just have a room to go ahead and do that. So,
wow.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. But if you're coming in, you're coming in for. It just got a whole different spin and vibe to it. It was going to be fun. Like, hey, let's talk about the contests and Circa Million and Circa Survivor and. Yeah, it's a Game 3 watch party for the Stanley Cup now. Whole different world on a gigantic screen with TNT's cameras there.
Yeah. Camp will be here.
He will.
Camp will be here. Oh, my goodness.
Tyler will be here.
Belmont is on Saturday, too. The Belmont is on Saturday.
It is, but like Thursday, Friday, I will not be anywhere near Circa on Saturday. I can promise you that. After being there Thursday,
Friday.
No.
You can bet the no on us being at Circa for whatever amount of money you want, you will cash.
You will not be there. But I could stay over and just be there for the show on Friday. I don't know. So I got to figure that whole thing out as to what I'm going to wind up doing.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It changed. things have changed now with the Cup Finals.
Things have changed.
Things have definitely taken a turn for the better for us on that Thursday. That first Thursday show, it's going to be a lot of fun. So more details later this week as we roll. Last thing on the Cup Finals and on the NBA Finals, you can parlay Vegas and Denver together at plus 107.
Favorite?
Yep.
I don't know. Is that enough? Plus 107? You like
for
that?
For a unit, sure, it's enough. Yes, absolutely. In particular, because might be the way I get to hedge off of my 48-1 or one
just
part.
Bet the Knights to win the series.
Because I'm not worried about the Heat.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm not worried about it. It's minus 485.
Wouldn't that be ironic if that was the thing that beat you?
It could, and it's happened before. I mean, this is betting in sports. It's absolutely, this could be the miracle Cinderella run for the ages. Absolutely.
I mean, if you parlay that together, you could lose both.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. I mean, if I lose both, I'm still up 48.5 to 1. I mean, I have a monster ticket on Florida.
No. Vegas could win.
Yeah.
And the Heat could win. You lose every bet you make. You'll lose the 48-1.
Right. I will bet Vegas just by themselves though.
Okay.
I'll do a multiple.
Okay.
I'm just saying this is a one bet I'll make. I'm gonna lay 1.5 games. You do it and better to book it, but I'm gonna lay 1.5 games on Denver. I'm gonna bet Vegas to win at minus 140, or I might wait till after game one. But I'm nervous about the price rising a lot. If Vegas wins game one with home ice, right? It goes to like 2, right? So I'm a little concerned about that. I may need to bet before game one, so I'm not having to lay as much down to get back on the other side. So I'll bet Vegas. I'm going to do a multitude of things with it. This 48.5 to 1 ticket gives me a lot of flexibility to play. I can have a lot of fun with this and play off with a variety of different things on this. So I will do that. All right. It is time for our Omaha Steaks Searing Hot Take of the day. So let's talk about this article that appeared. Yes, Madeline. Okay. Do you want my phone? Do you want my phone? Just take my phone. Thank you. Bye. Kids home in the summer. This is going to be a running thing until she goes to camp on June 5th. So this is an article that was written by SB Nation that I just have to ask this question. The headline is how Nikola Jokic became the NBA's version of Tom Brady. That Jokic is now Brady. The analogy this person is trying to make is the fact that Jokic is the Tom Brady because he was a throwaway draft pick who became a legend. But Tom Brady won 6 championships. Jokic hasn't won one yet.
Good point.
If Jokic doesn't win this title, like his legacy is very much on the line here in terms of like pressure.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, I think it is entirely. Yes. I think it erases. If Nikola Jokic is an NBA champion, he is a top 50 player of all time.
It adds to it, but I mean, if he doesn't, it's everything's not.
No, but I mean, it's another failure for him in which he's in his prime. He's won 2 MVPs. And the reason why he didn't win a third, in my opinion, this year is because people have said he can't get it done when it matters most. He hasn't won it all yet. So we're not giving him a third championship.
In it yet. This is his first
in the bubble.
finals.
NBA finals, yes. But he was on the Western Conference Finals once, lost to the Lakers.
That's
lost
fine,
to the Lakers.
But this is the first NBA finals. He doesn't
Agreed.
have to win it to then be if he wins it, he'll be elevated, but his whole legacy is not at stake with this.
I think he needs to win a championship before he's done. He was the 41st pick overall.
How old is he?
Jokic he's got a lot left. Okay. He's not an old guy, but this might be his best shot. I mean, have you seen their playoff run? Who they faced in terms of seedings? 8 seed, 4 seed, 6 seed, 8 seed.
What's wrong with that?
This is the easiest run they'll ever have. Like everything is completely hand wrapped for them.
Even matter that much? I mean, they beat a couple good teams. No.
Yes.
So like
Lakers, Warriors.
There's no path.
Remember we talked about this going into we said Suns, Warriors, Lakers. Oh my gosh, that's so hard. How hard was it?
Well, it was hard. They played that good.
Yeah, they killed you. They looked great. But look, I think Jokic at 28, okay, if he wins a championship, it's the whole thing we're just talking about with Tatum, right? It's you're in your prime. He'll be back. He's got time. I mean, they've got 29, 28, 20, 30, 31, 32. They've got more years left where Jokic will be in his prime, and they have Murray, who's coming into his prime as well. So I don't think this is the last time they'll be in the finals either. I think Denver's got a very good chance for making a run here. I don't want to call it like a dynasty, but they have a good chance to be relevant for many years here with, preseason expectations for a championship. They won't win it every year, but they'll have those expectations. But Jokic to Brady is a comparison that I just find to be laughable. Like, okay, Brady was a 6th-round pick.
Clicks, like,
of course,
fine. I understand what they're trying to do, but like, I read a lot of the article. I didn't read the whole article because it was really long.
Yeah,
it was really like it just kept going on and on and on and on.
Hey,
and
but
yes,
it's at least a writer who finds them interesting, though. It finds the Nuggets compelling. I'll give the writer credit for that.
That's fine. And I mean, guys, go buy the meats. I forgot to say go buy the meats.
We're not done with that yet. We'll get to all that.
Well, all these people are quick to like compare people to Tom Brady. Like, one, it's annoying. Stop.
It is.
Okay?
I agree.
It's dumb. Just stop. Okay. But two, he ain't done nothing yet. Relax.
On that caliber, right? Like he hasn't done it. He hasn't done anything yet on the Brady level. Like he's done the MVP thing, but he hasn't done the championship thing yet. And I get it. You're looking for the analogy of a guy who was an also-ran pick who turned into a all-time great. I get that, but we're putting the cart before the horse a little bit too quickly here with those comparisons.
A lot too quickly.
Yeah,
a lot.
Let's just pump the brakes a little.
Yes, he was like. I didn't look at the video yet, but apparently his scouting report wasn't that great. Wasn't that impressive.
He was fat.
He
was a tub of goo.
I mean, Brady was, skinny and didn't have the arm, and was a tub of goo.
Brady, we all laugh at the picture at the combine, right? Tom Brady in his underwear.
Yeah. Now
look at Tom Brady where he is today. GQ model, whatever it might be.
Yeah, Tom's doing okay. Maybe he'll catch another break or two, like
in his life.
Workout. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone's already saying that the language that they put into Garoppolo's contract will let Brady play again. You see that story?
No.
So Garoppolo signed a waiver because his foot needed surgery. So if the surgery doesn't go right, the team can cut him and owe him nothing. And Tom Brady is now part owner of the Raiders, who would then need to divest his interests in the Raider ownership group and then walk in and play for the Raiders. He could just sell the piece that he owns and then go play.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
They own Garoppolo zero money.
It's got to stop.
And Tom Brady can play for this team if the foot injury acts up during the season. There is an actual path for Tom Brady to play football again this year for the Raiders in Vegas for Josh McDaniels with Devontae Adams throwing on the football.
Put it down on the log. 114.
Yeah.
Into the show. It's got to fucking stop. All right. There. We dropped one F-bomb for you. Thanks, Will. Keep track of it. 114.
Yep.
It's got to stop. I've had enough. Seriously. This Brady guy is going to be a part of Vegas now. Like, enough. I live here now, and I got to see this guy. He's going to be at the games. I'm going to take the kids to an Aces game so they can see the basketball in person.
It's great. It's so fun.
Right. So we're going to do that. I mean, I'm going to have to take a picture with Tom. Hey, Tom, come here. Me and you take a picture. Come on. I'll post it on the Twitter. You'll see it. Sports BK can see. Enjoy it. Unbelievable. Enough with this Tom Brady talk. Please.
OmahaSteaks.com for Father's Day. The promo code is BVB at checkout to save $30 off your qualifying order. This includes all the fillets, the grillables like chicken breast and burgers and franks, and all right there for you with these customizable packages, and also packages available for Father's Day for you, for your father, for a father figure, for an uncle, a neighbor, brother, whomever, anybody who wants to eat. This is perfect for you right now. Omaha Steaks giving dad what they really want, food. We all like to eat. Promo code is BVB, $30 off at checkout. Every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Minimum order may be required. See the site for details. Promo code BVB for $30 off your qualifying order. Okay, a couple quick stories here, sports betting-wise, before we get to some baseball. Ontario is looking to limit sportsbook advertising. They opened it up to the public and to the operators.
Yeah.
40 of them, 40 plus, came in to issue their comments, concerns, or how they would like this bill to go.
Okay.
Restricting and or banning gambling advertising is at the front and center right now in Ontario for the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, the AGCO. They are considering a change to, quote, prohibit the use of athletes and celebrities who can reasonably be expected to appeal to children and youth from internet gambling advertising and marketing in Ontario. There was a deadline on May 15th. They opened it up, having all these conversations. They received over 40 submissions from people talking about what they would want or what they should be doing. I bring this up because there has been a lot of interesting push in the last couple of weeks for the reining in before football season this year of the advertising in America.
Right. Sorry.
Does it happen?
Leave
the white. The white looks good. Leave the white on.
All right.
In America.
I don't know if it happens, but it is a concern, is it not?
Well, according to Canada,
it is a concern.
They are citing some studies that are claiming that kids are addicted to sports betting as early as age 8 in Canada.
8?
8. I don't know if I believe it, but that's what they're claiming.
How's a kid be addicted?
I don't know. It's a great question. I don't necessarily agree, but I think what we're seeing in the industry is this idea that right now we can't let the books police themselves.
Well, there's no policing.
So there needs to be a parameter put into place about what you're able to do, much like we've saw with alcohol and tobacco over the years, as to how you can advertise and where you can advertise and who you can use in your advertisements.
Is that overstepping boundaries?
It is, yeah. But I think that's what has to happen, because just like alcohol and tobacco, you don't do it. They're allowed to do it by themselves first. They screw it up. They go overboard. They become gluttony, and they get too crazy. And then the government has to come in and say, okay, you can't do that anymore.
As a grown-up, forget about the kids and 8-year-olds being addicted to gambling. As a grown-up, all right, again, I was out of Vegas for a week other than 24 hours. I was in Ohio Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, flew back here Wednesday. I was in Washington Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Came back yesterday, Monday. The amount of advertising in markets that aren't here will blow your mind. It never stops.
I can't wait. I land June 27th back in Boston for a week. I cannot wait to see what it's like in Boston when I land. Turn my phone on. Let's see.
Your feed is different.
Yeah.
It's like I had to get away from it. It continually pops up promoted. I will say this, in the ballpark in Seattle, not one advertisement.
Can you bet on a phone in Washington? I thought it was in person only.
It was so refreshing.
But it's in-person betting only in Washington, right?
Correct.
You can't, so that's why. Okay.
It was awesome because I was in Cincinnati at the game in Ohio. Every ad was in your face with it. stop. There has to be something done, in my opinion, because one, the advertisers are going to take the money, and the books, two, are going to spend the money. So they're not going to stop each other. I mean, I remember back
it's
in
a
the day,
symbiotic relationship. Why would you stop? It's benefiting both parties. Why would you
exactly.
stop?
So they won't.
Yeah.
So,
Massachusetts law is the one thing that I'm really curious about, because that law states that there's a certain percentage of the audience that cannot be under the age of 21. And if there is an idea of it, you cannot advertise in public. Where a baseball game, there's a big argument as to how many kids are in a baseball game. What's the percentage at Fenway Park? Because there are big advertisements all over Fenway Park for betting. It's hard. I don't know how you quantify it. I don't know how you justify it.
I don't know how either. I think it's a real issue. I mean, we've talked about this off the air. I've said it for a long time. You're old enough to remember, as am I, and we have some members, brigade members that are watching the show that are old enough to remember when they used to smoke on TV.
Yeah.
They used to, I mean, I remember
a big part of it.
The
Smoking on TV.
Earl Campbell put a pinch between your cheek and gum commercials with George Brett for tobacco and stuff. They had to stop all that because athletes doing it, celebrities doing it makes it, one, cool, and two, makes it like, okay, they're doing it. I'll do it. I'll try it. It must be not, which again, I don't know if I'm ready to put is in your eyes, is gambling the same as alcohol and tobacco?
No.
Well, that's the Ontario Commission, right? Like that's what they monitor all of that.
All of it. It's not the same, but it's difficult because curbing addiction is hard.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you're advertising a vice, and I do believe that gambling is a vice, the same way that tobacco, cannabis, and alcohol are vices.
Right.
So that's why it's under their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Sorry, I'll put this jacket on. Listen, I was in Seattle for a couple days. It was 52 degrees in the morning, and I felt like it was 10.
Right.
It was so cold.
Have you ever seen the movie Thank You for Smoking?
No.
Okay, so it's a really interesting movie, but it's about the tobacco. It's a comedy, but it's about the tobacco industry and the ways that they would market to kids and how it's a comedy, but it's really it talks a lot about the way that we allow certain things to be lobbied. The gun industry, tobacco industry, alcohol industry, gambling industry, like what laws are written the way that they're written and what are we allowed to do and we're not allowed to do it. Like there's just it didn't make a lot of sense. It's never made sense to me when liquor couldn't be advertised during a game, but beer could. Like vodka off limits, beer, bring it in 25, go ahead. So
that's still the case.
No, it's changed. It used to be the case. It used to not be able to do that. Now it's, cigarettes and cigars have different rules as to where they can advertise and how they advertise. So like tobacco, but different ways of advertising. The internet's made it much more easy to advertise with these vices because you don't have the FCC. The public airwaves aren't controlled the same way.
Right.
So you can advertise all sorts of different things in different ways. But alcohol it affects your brain, right? Gambling, you're doing it hypothetically with a sound mind, but the addiction takes over and you keep on doing it, but you're doing it sober most often, or maybe the device kicks in when you're drunk, but you're thinking about it when you're sober. That's what makes gambling so tricky to me.
Yeah.
It's not a substance. It's an activity.
We did that story last week about the guy suing them at gambling or allowing him to gamble and feeding him drinks. Right. We talked about that. It all goes hand in hand, right? I mean,
I agree.
It does. The smoking and the gambling, the drinking and gambling, it's like those are the parlays. Like people do
all three.
One, do two, do all three.
Yep.
Together.
And that's why that commission's there. But it's like, how do you stop when someone's in trouble with any of those things? It's very difficult to stop them from doing it when they become addicted to it, because the advertising is everywhere. I mean, in this town, I couldn't imagine being an alcoholic in this town. I know somebody here who can't drink, and I always talk to him. I always say to him, like, man, like, how do you handle it? It's like, it's not fun. It's like this town is built
Right.
on alcohol.
Yeah.
Every party, everywhere you go, every casino, I mean, you can't go really anywhere without having some type of alcoholic beverage be placed into your face. And if that's your thing, if that's what you want more than anything, and you can't have it, it's really hard.
The Alcohol and Gaming Commission is monitoring the advertising or making questions, bringing up questions about the sportsbook advertising. It's so weird how they all like that. Doesn't seem like that would have ever been on had you worked for I want to say it again right. Hold on. It's the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario, the AGCO.
Oh, mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would have put that on the list of things I would have had to worry about working for that commission.
Right?
You're asking me these questions. Why are you asking me these questions? Like,
here's the two things that I think in America will ring a bell. We can move on after this. In Ontario, we are seeing an alarming increase among students in grades 7 to 12 betting money on online gambling. Gambling-related harms, such as financial losses, mental health issues, substance use, and suicidal intentions, can be devastating and have long-term impacts on the individual and their family. They would like to, quote, first, minimize the disproportionate impact of gambling-related harms on vulnerable communities, protect youth from advertising and promotion enticing them to gamble, protect all Ontarians by taking a public health approach to regulating and measuring the impact of iGaming. All conversations that will be had in America in the next 12 months.
No question about that. Zero question about that. So,
because stories like this, we now know the guy in Ohio who was involved in the Alabama baseball scandal.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's a father of a baseball player.
Who's on the University of Cincinnati baseball team.
Yep. Who got two staff members fired from the University of Cincinnati.
Right.
Man's name is Bert Eugene Neff Jr. of Mooresville, Indiana. Placed wagers reportedly that raised suspicion at the sports book at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati before the Alabama LSU game on April 28th. This being reported by Sports Illustrated. The sportsbook surveillance indicated Neff was in communication with Crimson Tide coach Brad Bohannon at the time he placed the wager. Bohannon got fired on May the 4th. Then, two staffers at Cincinnati, Kyle Sprague, assistant coach, and operations director Andy Nagel, fired on May 17th for what sources tell SI was knowledge of Neff's gambling activity, which the men did not report to the school. The school launched an internal review on May 8th and then publicly acknowledged the dismissal of the two on May 24th. It's not clear whether Neff placed wagers on Cincinnati games. Neff's son, Andrew, is a pitcher on the Bearcats baseball roster, along with Andrew's former Mooresville High teammate, Tommy O'Connor. Bert Neff, a former college pitcher at Louisville in Indiana in the 1990s, has been involved as a coach or administrator over the years with youth baseball teams in central Indiana. Sources describe him as well connected within the youth baseball and college baseball realm.
Yep.
Does it make it worse? This guy had a kid playing college baseball that he was making bets while talking to the coach.
Perception-wise, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it absolutely does, especially because they tell him you can't do it. So
he thought he had an edge.
This guy, right, is talking to people and betting. And again, I need to know the results of the bets before I, start going. Because if this guy is hustling, so he's a baseball coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's getting kids to college and he's doing a lot of things that I would do. Like, coaching kids and helping them get to the next level. You talk to a lot of people about a lot of things. And I mean, to be directly involved with the program and betting, one, you're not making enough money doing what you're doing. Two, you really like betting and think you have an edge. 3, I don't know if you have an edge or not. It's nice to know the pitching change before the book does because you're getting a number on that game, and it still had to win, and it was laying minus 240. So I don't know how much of an edge he had there. He's betting the favorite, a big favorite. Now, the pitching change would have made the line minus 400, and you're laying 240. That's value. So for people that don't think that betting favorites is ever right or have value, you can bet favorites when you're laying a price that's way less than it should be. That's just as good as taking a dog that wins. It's better sometimes. It's way better sometimes.
Right.
So I don't know, man. This is discouraging. I saw the article last week, and then you put it in the rundown today, and I thought, all right. The question I had for you when I read it was, how bad does this look to you, counselor?
I think it's a awful look for the NCAA. I think it shows the need to police a lot of questions, a lot of issues, a lot of things that are going on.
Yeah.
And I wonder how afraid are ADs in legal states right now that this is going to happen at their school next? Because how do you police parents? Because you know this, you know the click of a team, right?
Ugh.
So if you are daughter, son playing a sport on the inside,
Yeah.
you know the clicks, you know the concerns, you know the issues before anybody else.
Yeah.
Said child comes home, dad, Timmy's playing with a broken rib. He's going to pitch tomorrow. He's not going to go more than 3 innings. He's in deep trouble. He can't do any of this stuff. Those are real concerns. Like, those are real issues.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you police that.
I don't know either. I don't know how you, I mean, Trent Junk just came in a chat and said, how do you prevent this? I don't think you can prevent it. I think you can. You tell them not to be involved. That's what you tell them at the beginning. Listen, you can't be involved in this stuff. You can't bet on stuff. Well, why can he do it and I can't? Or, all right, thanks, coach. I'll just get Jimmy to do it. Jimmy's my buddy.
But that's been happening. That's happening for years. It's the idea that you actually were as brazen. Like, in my mind, what I hear about this story is that this guy was betting this way with inside information for a while. And then he got so comfortable with it that he was running to the book, trying to get a bet in quickly because the pitching change was about to happen. Within an hour of the game starting, the pitching change came. He was calling the coach to guarantee, like, hey, man, this is right. You're switching pitchers, right? Yeah. We're dropping this guy. Bohannon may have had no idea this was going on, why he was being asked, why he was talking to the guy on the phone. But that's what was used, the access that father had to the coach at Alabama, had access to the information to be able to go to the book and make a bet, which then makes everything nefarious and wrong. So, like, that's the problem.
I mean, is it though? Like, is it wrong because they know before the books? Like, can't the books get these calls and stuff too? Like,
they can, absolutely. I mean, I hear your point. I get what you're saying. It's just how the information was accessed is the question. Like, the coach can't take there in order for Bohannon to get fired. This is why I think Bohannon's going to sue Alabama. I think he might win, because in order for Bohannon to be held liable in this scheme, he would have to have knowledge that the guy was at the book. And I don't know how you prove that Bohannon knew, unless it happened multiple times where this guy was at a book making a phone call to the coach and the coach took the call. There has to be a pattern here for me to believe that the coach was in on it. Otherwise, like you just said, can't the book get the same call from some guy who knows the coach and in some relationship? You call down there and be like, hey, man, you switching pitchers? Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Got to change the line.
I don't know how you police it. It's the whole thing stinks as far as the business, because it's going to be created where it's, some dark back room, secret phone calls and all this other stuff, when a lot of times it's literally just one person and they just happen to know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy and make a bet. Or the book knows a guy who knows a guy and he tells him, listen, man, probably going to change pitchers. You should move the number. What if they don't change the pitcher, but they call and tell you they are? Right. I don't know, man. It's bad because it's so out in the open and it's so in your face. Again, it's what everybody wanted with this legal stuff. I don't know if it's the best thing. I don't know. I just don't know how you make it fair for everybody. I don't think that the information train is fair for everybody, but that's life, right?
Well, look, even the article states, though, Dave, SI is writing this now, but Neff's gambling activity could also have criminal reverberations that go beyond the NCAA's inquiries.
Wow. It's going to be trouble.
This is
going to be trouble.
This could get everybody. Once you put the law on the line here, it's not an NCAA violation. It's not an improper benefits. It could be a legal case being brought against this guy.
Here it goes. Every time the lawyers get involved, it's trouble. Every time. And everything. When the lawyers get involved, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. That's just bad news, man. It's bad.
According to the NCAA Vice President of Enforcement, John Duncan, he told Sports Illustrated for this article that gambling-related infraction cases are, quote, spiking in college athletics. In addition to Alabama and Cincinnati, we have Iowa. We have Iowa State, which had 41 athletes combined who were suspended. And now we're getting towards college football. Like, this is the thing I keep on coming back to is like, okay, so now all the eyes are on this. College baseball betting is a drop in the ocean compared to college football betting.
Right.
Like we have a rash of college football betting scandals.
Oh,
we're in trouble.
They're going to outlaw college sports betting.
We're in trouble. Yes.
Like that is that are we making that leap too far? But isn't that what's coming? Like,
I don't think it's out of the realm by any means. I think it's 100%. It's an election year. A lot of eyeballs. I'm just saying there's a lot of people there's a lot of political oxygen to start talking about this type of stuff if it becomes an outbreak. Now, again, in order for it to be an outbreak, we need multiple stories on multiple campuses with an absolute, 10 to 12 major high-profile big cases. A baseball case is not going to get it suspended. A gymnastics case is not going to get suspended. An Alabama football case, a Georgia football case, Michigan, Ohio State.
There's always going to be betting on college sports. Someone will find a way to.
Well, offshore. They'll always be offshore. You just drive everybody back to the black market. If you outlawed it, it would be the most stupidest thing in the world. Just saying people may try.
Ridiculous.
They might actually try, which is insane. Sports Grid, thank you for being here. For you guys who are watching on YouTube and Twitter, do not move. It is time for bonus time. It is BVB bonus time. Okay, a couple quick baseball stories, and we'll get to Better to Book It.
Yep.
The Rangers, are they going to win the West?
Why not? They could.
Because the Astros offense has been anemic, and they're only 3 games back. Their pitching's been tremendous, though.
The pitching is so good. I don't know. They can. They absolutely, Texas can. When you look at that division, why not? It's who's going to beat the A's the most.
They only play them 13 times, though.
Right?
You
better win. You better go 11-2, though.
Right?
Like somebody's going 11-2 against them in the division. Yeah, I think Texas can win. Don't you think Texas can win?
No.
Not at all.
I think the Astros win the division, and I think they're going to come to life in a big. This Astros team has the potential to make a big trade at the deadline, but two, I mean, Abreu has done nothing in his first home run over the long weekend,
right,
of the season. Like, this is a 30 home run a year guy.
Yeah,
he may go on a tear.
Maybe.
I just think offensively, the Astros are going to come to life, and when they do, and Altuve is healthy and everything else, I think they make a really strong second half run. I still like Houston to win the division.
What's the price?
Pitching is so good. I mean, it's just dumb at the moment. Your division winner, Houston is favored -145, Texas +240.
It's not a bad bet to lay 145.
Yeah.
You know who's not winning it? The Angels.
Or the A's.
Or the A's, and probably not the Mariners, although we're caught up in the Mariners here. So
250 to 1. If you want the A's
to win the A's, it's
win the
not even
division.
it's not even a fun ticket to print to joke with someone. Like it's not even nice.
It's a donation.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's just I used to hate those. Like somebody would buy that,
Yeah.
and I would go like, why
Do you know
are
what you're doing,
this?
sir? Do you know what you're doing?
Like, don't do this.
And then finally, I'll call you when it's time.
But you said coming in 10 minutes.
I was
It's
wrong.
been 10 minutes.
I'll call you when it's time.
When is time?
When we're done with third to book it.
When is that?
20 minutes.
In like 15 minutes, come back. Come back 15 minutes. Yes.
I'm going to set a time for 15 minutes.
And then come back in. Yes, there you go.
Color
Perfect.
105.
Perfect.
105.
Yes. 15 minutes should be good. Yes.
All right, perfect.
1-5.
We'll be done.
Yankees are 10 games over 500 and 6 games back. If you're the Yankees, how do you feel about what's going on in Tampa right now?
They're fine.
You think they're fine?
Yeah, I think the Yankees are fine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You think they want to be in a 3-game series?
No, but they're okay. Listen, the goal is just to make the playoffs. They
Is
wanna
it?
win the division? Yeah,
I don't
they
think
wanna
that's
win the
true
division, but
anymore.
you got to make the playoffs.
I think the wild card route is not fun anymore.
Well, it's not, but there's only one bye, right?
Yeah, the number 1 seed.
Everybody's trying to get that every day, but you don't always get that. So, yeah.
I don't
mean,
know. If I'm 10 games over 500 and I'm 6 games back on Memorial Day, I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like, how did this happen?
It's a hard division.
It is.
They're okay. The Yankees are fine. Believe me, the Yankees are not worried about anything. See how many home runs they hit yesterday? They're fine. They're this is what they do. April, May, figure it out, get the rotation, blah, 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 blah. June comes. They're the Bronx Bombers again. They're scoring 10 runs a game, hitting homers. Judge is heating up. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody needs – the Yankees don't need anybody's sympathy. Please. Please.
Time for bet it or book it. Couple plays at the top, and then we'll get to the plays for today for baseball. Denver, Vegas title parlay at +107.
You're making this out like this is an easy bet. This is not an easy bet. This is going to be a sweat.
Oh, yeah. But for a unit, it's basically even money. It's not bad. You're getting a title favorite that's -480. Much more worried about Vegas than I am worried about Denver.
This is why I'm going to book it. I'm worried about
way more
Vegas.
worried. Way more worried about Vegas not winning the cup.
No
in Florida
question.
winning the cup. Yeah, way more worried. Yes. So you book
Yeah.
it?
I'm booking it. Yeah.
All right.
I
So
think
that means
that's
do you
what I'm
like
worried
Denver
about.
-1.5 games then?
I'm dressed like Jimmy Butler.
So?
I can't. There's no way I can say.
Yes, you can.
bet
Of course you
this.
can. Of course you can.
No, I don't know. 4-2. This wins, right?
Yep.
So you're betting that it's not going to be a 7-game series.
Correct.
-162. And Denver wins.
Yes.
I have to say, book it.
Wow. You think this is a 7-game series of the Heat? Or why don't you bet the Heat to win it all then? Price is
It's
insane.
live. I think it's more live than you think. First timers, we'll see.
The Heat are first timers too.
Oh, it's Bolstra.
What's that matter? It's a coach.
You just said before that
You
the Celtics had such a coaching advantage.
Correct. As I said, Michael Malone is not Joe Mazzulla. Michael Malone's been in a Western Conference Finals. He's just hasn't been in NBA Finals. Not that big of a difference.
I think we're advancing the cart way too easily. I'm not
Really,
saying
the books
Denver
are at
can't
5.
win.
The books are 1-5 on this. Who's putting the cart before the horse?
It's happened before. They've lost before.
The books
in these
have.
situations. No.
I don't know. What's the? I would love to find that out. SoCal DJ, do me a favor. Find the biggest pre-game one favorite in the NBA Finals to lose the series. What's the biggest upset book-wise in the history of the NBA? This would have to be approaching it in some form or fashion.
This would be.
This is the NBA Finals.
The
It's
Warriors, the
-480.
Warriors were 3-1, I think. Minus 350, maybe as high as minus 350 when they lost to the Cavs.
The Cavs, right? Sorry, yeah.
They were that high. This would be one of the highest. Yeah, this would be one of the
all-time biggest upsets in the history of the game.
Yeah,
So,
if Miami wins, but I think it could go 7. That's why I'm saying book it right here.
Okay.
Minus 162. I'd rather not lay it, and then it could go 7. I think that. What if every team wins their home games? Go 7.
does, but I don't think that's happening.
How is Miami going to win a game in Denver?
They're not going to, and they're not winning all their home games either.
I don't know about that.
Boston won game 6.
Yeah.
Denver's much better than Boston.
Oh, Dirk championship. Pistons over the Lakers. 04.
What was that? 04? What was that? What was the price?
I don't know. I'm just watching a chat. They're throwing it out.
Just throwing ideas.
Yeah.
Well, what's the price? I don't care whether a perceived upset does not necessarily agree with the book saying it was an upset of a large proportion. Numbers.
Oh, the Lakers were gigantic favorites.
Against whom?
Against the Pistons.
In 2004?
Yeah. Yeah, they were gigantic favorites. I have to go back and look.
Look.
We'll
Yeah,
have SoCal look.
See what the biggest upset in history going into the series, not mid-series. All right, today, Tampa Bay run line -115 against the Cubs. They lost 1-0 yesterday. Coming off of a loss, Tampa is 32-24 on the run line this season.
Ooh. And what's the price?
-115. McClanahan against Hendricks, his second start of the year after the IL, coming off the IL.
On the road, too?
Yep.
I think we bet this one.
Yeah. Tampa crushes them today.
Bet
Tampa
this
scores
one.
a bunch of runs today after getting shut out yesterday.
Over.
I think they score a lot. Game probably over. Yeah, I looked at the over. Tampa is 13-9-2 on the road to the over. The Cubs are 15-13-1 to the over at home. But I'm concerned about the Cubs offense against McClanahan. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
I'd rather just lay the Rays. No, take the Ray team total or take the run line.
Right.
Then have to worry about the Cubs offense against McClanahan. So that's why
that's
why I'm betting run line. I'm going against all the numbers here. Marlins, Padres over 7.5 runs at -115.
Marlins, Padres.
The Padres are 17-7-2 to the under on the road. The Marlins are 15-8-2 to the under at home. But it's Sandy and Alcantara just has not been right for whatever reason. And the Marlins hit left-handed pitching. Weathers is pitching for the Padres.
Right.
Marlins hit lefties, which is weird because their offense doesn't hit anybody, but they do hit lefties.
Check the standings. Oh, the Marlins are in the playoffs if the season ends today.
It's one of my baseball bets that could come in and hit over 76 wins.
Man, oh man.
For the Marlins. They've played well. With with Alcantara sucking.
Not being himself, right? Over 7.5. It's all flat 8s now.
Oh, good. Okay. So I get a little CLV on it.
And DraftKings just went to 8.5.
Oh.
Under juice.
Okay. Falls 8. I'm fine with it.
That's weird.
5-3 final. I'm good.
Yeah. It's a weird hunch play. I think I like it over.
Yeah.
I think
the numbers
like it over.
I'm going against the numbers. And I'm going with the numbers here finally for KC and St. Louis. I mean, Greinke has a 666, no lie, ERA on the road. Opposing batting average is 293. He's given up 7 home runs on the road. St. Louis is 16-10 to the over at home, and Mikolas has a 586 ERA at home and an over 300 opposing batting average. Over 9. Cardinals.
I like
the Royals.
I like the under.
With Greinke on the mound?
Yeah.
On the
I like
road?
the under. Yeah.
Why?
I'm just looking at the board. I just like the under.
Oh, runs.
I'll
runs.
book this one.
Team total Cardinals. I like
that.
I
I like that. I don't like the call. I don't
Mikolas-
want to have to need the Royals to score 3
4
runs.
4 runs. Hey, they scored 4 runs yesterday.
I know.
They beat the Cardinals yesterday.
I'd rather do the Cardinals team total over than
Fair.
the game
Wasn't available
over.
last night. I looked at it. It wasn't available last night. It was really funny that there were 2 games that the books did not want to hang numbers on for team totals and for even for Tampa and the Cubs. They wouldn't even put up a total. They were putting just a side up overnight. Couldn't figure that out because they're
There's
trying to
no
figure out
totals
Greinke.
overnight in the Cubs games. You can't
Ever because of the wins.
Yeah,
No.
Wrigley, you don't put up totals because it can be so drastically different.
Right.
So, yeah, no overnight totals in Wrigley. And what was the other game? This one?
Yeah. The St. Louis game.
They must have not known one of the pitchers.
No, they did. It was weird. I couldn't figure it out. It was like looking around. It was like the team totals weren't being put up. They put totals up, but they wouldn't put team totals up.
Yeah, a
So-
lot of times now you wait till the morning to put the team totals up too.
So I was annoyed with that last night, but I don't mind Cardinals team total. But hey, it's
Right.
Gotta bet what I'm betting. But that's I think the over because I think St. Louis will hammer Greinke tonight. So
Okay.
need 7 maybe out of them, 6 out of them, 6-3 final.
What's your team total? 5.5? It's probably 5.5, 3.5.
My gut would tell me that would probably be the right read.
Let's see. MLB.
Where's the
Because while we're on here right now, so you can find it first. Team total.
There it is. It's 9 juice to the under.
There's just way too many menus. Like this is I didn't just want just there it is. St. Louis Cardinals total runs 5.
Juice to the
Kansas
under.
City Royals
Juice to the
total
under.
runs is 3.5.
That equals 8.5, not 9.
Correct.
What the hell are they doing?
They don't know. The game's 9. The team totals out
5.
8.
It should be 5.5.
It's
It's 5.
I mean,
Or are they worried because the books are going to?
they're not even looking. Nobody's
Which-
betting this game. That's the
No.
reality of it. JC from KC is betting it because he's a Royals guy
Yeah.
and he's, all this other stuff. But this is probably one of the least handled games of the day.
Really?
bad
Even with
as the
Greinke on the
Cardinals
road,
have been.
Greinke on the road has been a bet against for a long time now.
He has. Well, that's why people need to watch the show, especially watch BVB bonus time. We give you these things right now. It's great.
SoCal just sent me the number.
Okay.
Okay, so the number only Pistons were plus 500 against the Lakers. The next highest odds were the Raptors at plus 230. The Bucks at plus 160. Only 13 underdogs have won this series since 1972.
Holy what?
Good luck, Miami.
13 since 1972?
Uh-huh.
That's 28 and 23. It's
50 years.
51.
50 years, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now do you understand why I'm saying Denver's?
Yeah, Denver's gonna win.
Uh-huh.
Man, Denver's
Just,
gonna win.
Again, and look, you guys can all your South Florida, all your Miami people can all come at me. Lee Sterling, all my friends, come on, keep pouring it on. If you wind up in the same spot as my team, you can't talk. So you better win it. Both teams better win it. So if Miami goes 0-2, there's no more talking. You're in the same spot as Boston. So Ricky Bobby said
Think
it.
Miami parlays are gonna come in?
From Miami people, absolutely. They're coming in, and the books are going to welcome it. They're going to go, come on, let's go. Go ahead and bet it. That's probably good. I mean, my gosh, that's going to be huge. The Cavs were plus 160 in 15 and 16 as well. In that Laker series, or that
Right.
Cavs Warrior series, rather. But if you want to bet the Heat and you want to bet the Panthers, it's a plus 846 parlay. 8.5 to 1 return if you want to bet on Miami parlay. Oh, 5 of the last 12 have won, though, according to SoCal.
5 of the last 12 dogs have won the NBA Finals.
Yeah, because the numbers have been very short.
Right.
This is not one of those short numbers.
This is not one of those. Yeah.
This is one of the long ones. Favorite thing about today is what?
A couple things. I
told Maddie she can do mine, by the way. That's why she keeps on coming in here, because she wants to do it. She wants to, she thinks we believes that BVB bonus time. She's going to tell us why she doesn't like the name.
Oh,
she doesn't like bonus time. She's like, I'll tell you guys why. All right, fine.
All right, that's fine. No, my favorite thing about today is that unfortunately, I left the names of all the people that I met on my travels. Both.
How many is that?
In
like
Ohio.
20?
Well, I told them about the show.
Right.
I had 5 guys literally up at the University of Washington
Burger guys
softball game. What's that?
Burger guys?
No. These were guys actually selling merch.
Oh, nice.
Because we bought some merch at the game and we started talking and they started asking about, because I had on something Pirates and little Kendall had on the Mariners City Connect.
Nice.
And it led to a conversation about the show and about a bunch of different things. So I think it was Crystal, it was DeMay, there was another guy that were like, this sounds like a great show. We want to watch it. And I said, yeah, we do this thing every day called The Best Thing About Today. I will get the names for tomorrow.
Okay.
But I met them in Seattle. Mike, cancer survivor in Ohio, who ended up having a great conversation with. And, I was one-on-one with him and I forget her name. I have it all written down. Anyhow, at the golf course. And I said, listen, my brother comes here for relaxation and rest and like to just take his mind off it. So they hooked up and met and became like, listen, anytime you want to come in, we'll just put you on the tee sheet, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
And he was like, we walked back out to the car and he goes, you literally have become dad. You know that, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, you talk to everybody, but everybody talks to you. It's unreal. And I'm like, Doug, I'm telling you, the power's working. Keep watching the show. Keep telling people things are happening. So my favorite thing about today is that 1, we're doing the show, but 2, we're bringing people along for the ride. And it's been a blast and hopefully going to continue to grow in that regard. She's ready to go. She wants the cue right now.
She's keep going. Finish your point. She's fine.
No, that's it. That's the point is that we're going to keep doing the show one way or the other in some form or fashion. We need to figure out a way to
this form and fashion.
Well, this form and fashion. You're doing a hell of a job with the graphics and everything else. All the tabs you have open.
Good. We're all good.
We're got some things on the horizon.
Yeah, so yeah. We're all good.
Don't forget.
Come on in.
June 8th and June 9th.
Say hi.
Oh.
This is here so you can hear Mr. Dave.
Let me put on.
Okay, good. Put it on.
Put it on. What are we doing? Now you're frozen. Snap your fingers.
We're frozen?
One of you. Snap your fingers. Quick.
We good? We're back?
Oh, no.
Hi.
Oh, you're back. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Maddie, you can snap? Maddie, can you snap?
Yeah.
Had it go.
Why don't you like the name bonus time? Your favorite thing about today, why don't you like our BVB bonus time name? Get closer to the microphone so we can hear you.
It sounds like a baby show.
Sounds like a baby show?
Sounds like a baby show. BVB bonus time sounds like a baby show.
Not BVB. That's a bonus time. Sounds like a baby show.
But we call it BVB bonus time. That's what we call it.
Time. Yeah. Well, you can work on it. How about you think of a name?
I'm not changing the name, but what would you call it if you had a chance to call it? What would you call it? You have to think about this.
Favorite thing about today.
But that's you can't call the whole segment. That's what this segment is called. At the end of this show, we do favorite thing about today. So you're my favorite thing about today. Today, you get to run it today.
FTA.
The acronym.
Oh boy.
FTAT.
Yeah.
FTAT.
Fatat?
F-T-A-T.
That's fatat.
We're going to call it Fatat. Okay, there we go. All right. Anything else you want to say before we wrap the show up? We got to roll. The dogs are coming in here, so we got to get out.
Dogs are coming in, the
Okay.
cats. What's going on
Okay.
over there, man?
Can you say
Can I show Nemo?
can you say bye? No, can you say bye to the brigade?
I want to show Nemo.
Can you say bye to the brigade?
I
Say
will,
bye.
so you
Just
can-
say bye. No, say bye.
Why?
Maddie,
Why?
say bye. Show the hat. See the little Bostonian on the
Oh,
hat.
that's nice.
There we go.
That's
All right.
fresh.
Bye,
All right.
Kenna.
B.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you for indulging me on that. I told her that I would do that. Thank you. I'll be back. Okay. I'll be back. Take my phone and go.
I stay here.
Okay.
We have
so you
2
can't hear.
minutes. 2 minutes. That's it.
Just go for 2 minutes. I'll be done in 2 seconds.
2 minutes.
Go. All right. Anyways, she can be super annoying. Oh, that was Tyler. Sorry. I thought that was SoCal that was sending me that stuff. That was BetSmart. Sorry. My bad,
Oh.
Tyler. I thought that was SoCal sending that stuff. That was not that. He's in Boston still. Watching the show in Boston.
He likes it.
Appreciate it, my
Awesome.
friend.
He
We'll
likes
see-
it. Mike,
see you-
he likes it. Tyler,
We'll
he
see you
likes
guys here. Okay, so a couple real quick things. Again, June 8th, June 9th, we're at Circa. We'll have more information tomorrow. And a lot of you guys are wondering about the trip. Okay. I have a call here. Hopefully, we get all the details as to how we're going to give that away.
Yes.
And we'll get that set up. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be on the show tomorrow. I'll tell you how you guys can win that 2-night stay at Circa coming up a week from Thursday, Friday. Okay. So June 8th, June 9th at Circa. We'll tell you tomorrow on the show. So be tuned in. We'll give you all the details you're going to need to come in to be a part of that. How we're going to pick one of you to win a 2-night stay at Circa. We have 10 passes per day. We're going to give those, how we're giving those out. We'll tell you about that tomorrow as well. So it's a big show tomorrow about this because we'll be about a week away from what will be now one of the craziest shows for us, period.
We're gonna get it done. We're gonna have a show. We're gonna be there, and hopefully we'll be able to stay for the watch party in completeness and just watch the randomness of the Knights hosting the Stanley Cup. Although Game 3 is in Florida,
Yeah.
so there
it's a road
won't be,
trip.
there won't be right. So there won't be that crowd. Oh man, that's
Yes, there will be even a bigger crowd because everyone's on the road.
I was gonna say, oh, my
That's why I'm
God.
talking about. It's a watch party for game 3. This is why it's a big deal. It's not a watch party for game 1 or 2. It's what game 3.
It's a road game.
It's the
watch
official
party.
watch party of the Vegas Golden Knights for game 3 at Stadium
Oh,
Swim. Like this is
Oh my gosh.
chants, cheerleaders, drumline, the whole shebang.
I go?
No, you're not 21.
You have to be 21,
So-
Maddie. Sorry.
Sorry, she hates that. She gets so mad.
That's so bad.
Sorry, I would bring you. I would 100% bring you. I would.
It's
but
really
you can't.
not fair. She's
It's not-
right about
It's not
that.
fair.
It's not
Mr.
fair.
Dave says you're right. It's not fair.
Are you going?
I'm working. We're doing our show from there. To the eye bulge. Yes, we're going. Hi, take my hat off. Okay, so we're taking hats off. These so bad. She's such an annoying individual. So, thank you for being here, Brigade. We will talk to you guys coming up tomorrow. Big show.